The vast emptiness of space suddenly lit up with a bright flash. A massive ship appeared out of nowhere. This was the human battleship Thunderbolt, and its arrival was about to change everything. Captain Jae-sung Kim stood on the bridge of the Thunderbolt. He was a tall man with short black hair and eyes that showed both wisdom and strength. Jae-sung looked out at the stars through the big window in front of him. He could see small dots of light moving around in the distance. These were alien ships, and they were moving very fast now. "It looks like we surprised them," Jae-sung said with a small smile. He turned to his crew. They all looked excited and a bit nervous. This was the first time humans had come this far into space. Junho, the ship's sensor officer, spoke up. "Captain, I'm picking up a lot of chatter from the alien ships. They're sending messages to each other like crazy." Jae-sung nodded. "That's to be expected. We did just show up in their backyard without warning." Maicha, the communications officer, raised her hand. "Sir, we're getting a message. I think it's from their leaders." "Put it on the main screen," Jae-sung ordered. The big screen in front of them came to life. An alien face appeared. It had blue skin, big eyes, and no hair. The alien looked shocked and a bit scared. "Unknown vessel," the alien said in a shaky voice. "You have entered Galactic Council space. Identify yourself immediately." Jae-sung stepped forward. He spoke in a calm, clear voice. "This is Captain Jae-sung Kim of the Earth ship Thunderbolt. We come in peace and wish to speak with your leaders." The alien's eyes got even bigger. "Earth. You're humans." "That's right," Jae-sung said with a nod. The alien turned away from the screen and started talking to someone they couldn't see. There was a lot of fast, worried talking. When the alien turned back, it looked even more nervous. "Please wait," the alien said. "The Galactic Council must meet to discuss this unexpected development." The screen went dark. Jae-sung turned to his crew. They all looked at him, waiting to see what he would do. "Well," he said with a small laugh, "I think we made quite an entrance." Meanwhile, on the main planet of the Galactic Council, there was chaos. Aliens of all shapes and sizes were running around, trying to figure out what to do. In a big round room with hundreds of seats, the council members were gathering. Yang, the head of the council's military, was yelling at everyone. "We need to prepare our ships. The humans might attack at any moment." But Eunji, a peaceful alien who looked like a tall, thin tree, disagreed. "We can't just assume they're here to fight. We should talk to them first." As the council argued, more information about the human ship came in. It was bigger than any ship the council had ever seen. It had weapons they didn't understand, and it had just appeared out of nowhere, using some kind of travel that the council didn't know about. Back on the Thunderbolt, Jae-sung and his crew waited. They knew this moment would change the future for both humans and aliens. Jae-sung looked at the picture of his family. He kept near his chair. He hoped he was doing the right thing by coming here. "Captain," Maicha said suddenly, "we're getting another message. They want to talk." Jae-sung took a deep breath. This was it, the moment that would decide if there would be peace or war. "Put them through," he said. As the alien faces appeared on the screen, Jae-sung stood tall. He was ready to speak for all of humanity. Whatever happened next would change the galaxy forever. The big screen on the Thunderbolt came to life again. This time, it showed a group of different aliens. They all looked worried and curious at the same time. An alien with green skin and 4 eyes spoke first. "I am Zin, the leader of the Galactic Council. We welcome you to our space, humans." Captain Jae-sung bowed his head slightly. "Thank you, Zin. We're glad to be here." Another alien, one that looked like a big rock with eyes, spoke up. "But why are you here? And how did you get here so fast?" Jae-sung smiled. "We're here to make friends and share knowledge. As for how we got here, that's one of the things we'd like to talk about." The aliens all started talking at once. Some looked excited, others scared. Jae-sung waited patiently for them to calm down. While this was happening, Ambassador Soo-min Park walked onto the bridge. She was a short woman with a kind face and smart eyes. Soo-min had studied alien cultures for years and was the best person to talk to the council. "Captain," she said, "maybe I should take over from here." Jae-sung nodded and stepped back. Soo-min took his place in front of the screen. "Hello, members of the Galactic Council," she said with a warm smile. "I am Ambassador Soo-min Park. We humans have traveled a long way to meet you. We hope we can be friends and learn from each other." The aliens seemed to relax a little when they saw Soo-min. Her friendly face and calm voice made them feel better. But not everyone was happy. On one of the alien ships, Admiral Yang was watching everything. He was a tall, thin alien with dark purple skin. Yang didn't trust the humans. "They're hiding something," he said to his crew. "No one just shows up out of nowhere with a ship that big. We need to be ready for anything." Back on the Council's main planet, the alien leaders were still arguing. Some wanted to welcome the humans with open arms. Others wanted to send them away or even attack them. Yeonji, the tree-like alien, spoke up. "We should invite them to our planet. Let's show them we're not afraid." But others disagreed. "Are you crazy?" shouted a small furry alien. "They could destroy us all." As the council argued, Soo-min continued to talk to them from the Thunderbolt. She told them about Earth, about human history, and about why they had come to meet the aliens. "We've been watching the stars for a long time," she said. "We knew we weren't alone. Now that we can travel fast enough, we wanted to come say hello." The aliens were amazed by what Soo-min told them. Humans had done things that the aliens thought were impossible. This made some of them excited, but it made others even more scared. On the Thunderbolt, the crew was getting nervous. They could see more alien ships arriving all the time. Soon, there were hundreds of ships around them. Jun-ho, the censor officer, leaned close to Captain Jae-sung. "Sir," he whispered, "I don't like this. It feels like they're getting ready to attack." Jae-sung nodded, but kept his face calm. He didn't want the aliens to see that he was worried too. Suddenly, one of the alien ships moved closer to the Thunderbolt. It was Admiral Yang's ship. Yang's face appeared on the screen next to the council members. "Humans," he said in a loud voice, "you say you come in peace, but how do we know we can trust you? Your ship is a weapon. Your sudden arrival is suspicious. How do we know this isn't the start of an invasion?" The other aliens gasped. Some nodded, agreeing with Yang. Others looked angry at him for being so rude. Soo-min took a deep breath. This was a dangerous moment. What she said next could mean the difference between peace and war. "Admiral Yang," she said calmly, "I understand your fear, but let me ask you this. If we wanted to invade, why would we come with just one ship? Why would we talk to you instead of attacking?" Yang didn't have an answer for that. He just glared at Soo-min. As everyone waited to see what would happen next, a small light started blinking on Jun-ho's console. He looked at it, and his eyes went wide. "Captain," he said in a shaky voice, "you need to see this." Jae-sung looked at the console. What he saw made his heart beat faster. Something new was about to happen. Something that could change everything. The blinking light on Jun-ho's console meant only one thing. Another ship was coming. But this wasn't just any ship. It was huge, almost as big as the Thunderbolt. "It's the Galactic Council's capital ship," Jun-ho said, his voice full of awe. "They call it the Starlight Palace." Everyone on the bridge of the Thunderbolt watched as a beautiful ship appeared. It looked like a giant, shining star with many points. The aliens on the screen looked both proud and worried. Zin, the leader of the council, spoke up. "Ambassador Soo-min, we invite you to come aboard the Starlight Palace for talks. Will you accept?" Soo-min looked at Captain Jae-sung. He nodded, but his eyes were serious. This could be a trap, but it was also a big chance for peace. "We accept your invitation," Su-min said with a smile. "Thank you for your trust." As Su-min got ready to leave, Jae-sung pulled her aside. "Be careful," he said quietly. "And take this." He handed her a small device. "It's a new translator. It might help you understand them better." Su-min nodded and put the device in her pocket. Then she left for the shuttle that would take her to the Starlight Palace. On the alien ship, Su-min was met by a group of different aliens. They all looked at her with big eyes, like they couldn't believe a human was really there. One alien, who looked like a tall blue crystal, stepped forward. "I am Rai, the chief diplomat of the council. Welcome aboard, Ambassador Su-min." Su-min bowed politely. "Thank you, Rai. I'm honored to be here." They walked through long hallways filled with strange and beautiful alien art. Su-min tried to look calm, but inside, her heart was racing. Everything she said and did now would shape the future of human-alien relations. Finally, they reached a big round room. In the middle was a table shaped like a star, with seats all around it. The alien leaders were already there, waiting. As Su-min sat down, she felt all their eyes on her. She took a deep breath and began to speak. "Friends," she said, "I know our arrival was a surprise, but we humans have so much to share with you. We have technology that can help all of us, and we're eager to learn from you too." The aliens listened closely. Some looked interested, others still seemed unsure. Eunji, the tree-like alien, spoke up. "Can you tell us more about your technology? How did you travel here so fast?" Su-min smiled. This was her chance. She pulled out a small cube from her pocket and put it on the table. Suddenly, a 3D image appeared above it, showing the strange engine. "This is our faster-than-light drive," Su-min explained. "It lets us travel great distances in a short time." The aliens gasped. They had never seen anything like it. But Admiral Yong, who was also in the room, looked angry. "This could be a weapon," he shouted. "How do we know you won't use this technology against us?" Su-min stayed calm. "Admiral, this technology can be used for good or bad, just like any tool. We choose to use it for exploration and friendship. We hope you'll choose the same." As Su-min talked, she noticed something strange. The translator Jae-sung gave her was picking up whispers that the aliens thought were too quiet to hear. Some of the council members were talking about stealing the human technology. Su-min knew she had to be careful now. She had to show the aliens that humans were friendly, but also strong. She couldn't let them think they could take advantage of Earth. "Let me show you something else," Su-min said. She pressed another button on the cube. This time, the image showed Earth's solar system and all the planets humans had colonized. The aliens were amazed. Humans had spread farther and faster than they thought possible. "We come to you as equals," Su-min said firmly. "We want to be friends and partners, but we're also ready to defend ourselves if we need to." The room went quiet. The aliens looked at each other, trying to decide what to do. Su-min held her breath. What happened next would change everything. Suddenly, an alarm started blaring. Red lights flashed everywhere. Something was wrong, very wrong. "We're under attack," someone shouted. Su-min's eyes went wide. Who was attacking? And why? As chaos broke out around her, she knew one thing for sure. The real test of human-alien relations was just beginning. As alarms blared on the Starlight Palace, Ambassador Su-min tried to stay calm. The alien leaders were running around, shouting orders. No one seemed to know what was really happening. Suddenly, a voice came over the speakers. It was Captain Jae-sung from the Thunderbolt. "This is Captain Kim," he said. "We've detected several small ships attacking the Starlight Palace. They don't match any known alien designs. We're moving to help." The aliens looked at Su-min with surprise and suspicion, but before anyone could say anything, the ship shook hard. They were under attack. Meanwhile, back on the Thunderbolt, things were just as chaotic. As the big ship moved to help the aliens, Junior Officer Ta Hyun Lee noticed something strange. Tai-hyun was young and smart, always watching everything around him. Now, he saw two crew members acting weird. They were typing fast on their computers and looking nervous. Curious, Tai-hyun pretended to work nearby. He could hear them whispering. "Is it done?" one asked. "Almost," the other replied. "Once we're close enough, we can take control of their systems." Tai-hyun's eyes went wide. These people were trying to sabotage the aliens. But why? He had to make a quick decision. Should he tell Captain Jae-sung right away? Or should he try to find out more first? Tai-hyun decided to be careful. He quietly moved closer to the two suspicious crew members. He needed to learn more before he told anyone. Back on the Starlight Palace, Su-min was helping the aliens fight off the attack. She used her knowledge of human technology to strengthen their shields. "Look," she said, pointing at a screen. "The attacks are coming from these points. If we focus our defense here and here, we can stop them." The aliens were impressed. Maybe humans really did want to help. But Admiral Yang was still suspicious. He pulled Rai, the crystal-like diplomat, aside. "This is too convenient," Yang whispered. "What if the humans planned this attack to trick us?" Rai looked unsure. "But they're helping us," he said. "Maybe," Yang replied. "Or maybe it's all part of their plan." As they argued, neither noticed a small device Yang had dropped. It was slowly blinking, copying data from the alien computers. On the Thunderbolt, Tai-hyun was getting more worried. He had overheard enough to know that the two crew members were definitely up to no good. They were trying to hack into the alien ships. Tai-hyun knew he had to act fast. But just as he was about to go to Captain Jae-sung, one of the suspicious crew members saw him. "Hey, you," the man shouted. "What are you doing here?" Tai-hyun's heart raced. He had to think fast. I was just checking the systems," he lied. "Captain's orders." The two crew members looked at each other. They didn't seem to believe him. "Well, you can go now," one said. "We've got it covered here." Tai-hyun nodded and walked away slowly. But as soon as he was out of sight, he ran to find the captain. Meanwhile, the battle outside was getting worse. The mysterious ships were tough and wouldn't give up. The Thunderbolt and the alien ships were fighting hard, but it wasn't easy. Su-min was still on the Starlight Palace, helping where she could. She noticed that some of the alien leaders were missing. Where had they gone in the middle of an attack? Curious and worried, Su-min decided to look around. She quietly slipped out of the main room and into a long hallway. As she walked, she heard voices coming from behind a closed door. Su-min moved closer to listen. "This is our chance," someone was saying. "With all the chaos, we can take the human technology now." Su-min gasped. Some of the aliens were planning to steal from the humans. This was bad, very bad. Just then, her communicator beeped. It was a message from the Thunderbolt. "Ambassador, we have a problem. There might be traitors on our ship." Su-min's mind raced. Traitors on the human ship, thieves on the alien ship, and a mysterious attack from unknown enemies. What was really going on? As alarms kept ringing and ships kept fighting outside, Su-min knew one thing for sure. The truth had to come out, and fast. Otherwise, this first meeting between humans and aliens might be the start of a terrible war. The space around the Starlight Palace was filled with flashing lights and explosions. The unknown enemy ships kept attacking, and both human and alien ships fought back hard. On the bridge of the Thunderbolt, Captain Jae-sung was worried. He had just heard from Ta-hyun about the possible traitors on board. Now, he didn't know who to trust. "Sir," Jun-ho called out, "the alien ships are moving into attack position." Jae-sung's eyes went wide. "What? But we're helping them." On the main screen, they could see the alien ships turning towards the Thunderbolt. Their weapons were powering up. "Get me Su-min," Jae-sung ordered. "Now." Meanwhile, on the Starlight Palace, Su-min was in big trouble. She had been caught listening at the door by the aliens who were planning to steal human technology. What do we do with her? One alien asked, "Lock her up." Another said, "We'll deal with her later." But Su-min wasn't going to give up easily. As they tried to grab her, she ducked and ran. She had to get back to the main room and tell everyone what was happening. As Su-min ran through the hallways, her communicator beeped. It was Jae-sung. "Su-min," his voice crackled. "The aliens are turning on us. What's going on?" "It's all a misunderstanding," Su-min shouted as she ran. "There are traitors on both sides. We need to." Suddenly, a large alien stepped in front of her, blocking her path. It was Admiral Yang. "Going somewhere, human," he growled. Back on the Thunderbolt, things were getting worse. The alien ships were getting closer, and the crew was split. Some wanted to fire first, to protect themselves. Others wanted to wait and try to talk. Tae-hyun watched all this, feeling helpless. Then he had an idea. "Captain," he said, "what if we could prove we're not the enemy?" Jae-sung looked at him. "How?" "We could lower our shields," Tae-hyun suggested. "Show them we're not here to fight." Everyone on the bridge went quiet. Lowering the shields was dangerous. If the aliens attacked, the Thunderbolt would be in big trouble. Jae-sung thought hard. It was a big risk, but maybe it was their only chance. "Do it," he said finally. As the shields went down, the alien ships stopped moving. They seemed confused. On the Starlight Palace, Su-min faced off against Admiral Yang. "You humans think you're so clever," Yang said, "but we won't let you take over our galaxy." "We're not here to take over anything," Su-min shouted. "We want to be friends." Just then, Rai, the crystal-like diplomat, ran up. "Admiral, stop," he yelled. "Look." He pointed at a screen on the wall. It showed the Thunderbolt, floating in space with its shields down. "They've lowered their defenses," Rai said, amazed. "They're trusting us not to attack." Admiral Yang looked shocked. This wasn't what he expected at all. Suddenly, a new voice came over the speakers. It was Tae-hyun, broadcasting to both the Thunderbolt and the Starlight Palace. "Everyone, please listen," he said. "There are people on both sides trying to start a war, but that's not what most of us want. Humans and aliens can be friends. We just need to trust each other." As Tae-hyun spoke, something strange happened. The unknown enemy ships that had been attacking suddenly stopped. Then they started to disappear. "They're holograms," Jun-ho shouted on the Thunderbolt. The attacks weren't real. Everything went quiet. The human ship floated with its shields down. The alien ships hovered nearby, weapons ready but not firing. Everyone held their breath, waiting to see what would happen next. On the Starlight Palace, Su-min looked at Admiral Yang and Rai. "This is our chance," she said. "We can start over. No tricks, no secrets. Just honest talk between our people." Yang looked unsure, but Rai nodded. "She's right," he said. "This might be our only chance for real peace." As the fake enemy ships faded away, the real challenge began. Could humans and aliens learn to trust each other? Could they build a friendship after all this chaos? The next few minutes would decide the future of both races, and everyone, from Captain Jae-sung to Ambassador Su-min to young Tae-hyun, knew that the real work was just beginning. The next few hours were tense but important. Human and alien leaders met on the Starlight Palace to talk things out. Captain Jae-sung, Ambassador Su-min, and Tae-hyun represented the humans. Jin, Rai, and even Admiral Yang came for the aliens. They sat around a big table, all looking nervous. Su-min spoke first. "We need to be honest with each other," she said. "No more secrets." Jin nodded slowly. "Agreed. But who will start?" Tae-hyun took a deep breath and stood up. "I will," he said. Everyone looked surprised. Tae-hyun was young and not a leader, but his eyes were serious. "I discovered that some humans on our ship were trying to hack alien systems," he said. "They wanted to steal information and maybe even control your ships." The aliens gasped. Admiral Young jumped to his feet. "See, I told you they couldn't be trusted." But Taehyun wasn't finished. "But that's not all," he said. "The attack we all saw, it wasn't real. Someone made those fake ships to scare us all." Now everyone was confused. Captain Jae-sung leaned forward. "Taehyun, are you sure about this?" Taehyun nodded. "Yes, sir. I heard the traitors talking. They planned it all." As the room buzzed with shocked whispers, Rai the diplomat stood up. His crystal body sparkled as he moved. "If we're being honest," he said slowly, "then I must confess too. Some of us, some aliens, we were planning to steal human technology." Now it was the humans' turn to look angry. But Sumin held up her hand. "Wait," she said. "Let's not judge yet. We need to understand why." Over the next hour, the truth came out bit by bit. Some humans were scared of aliens and wanted an advantage. Some aliens were worried humans would take over their worlds. Both sides had people who didn't want peace. As they talked, something strange happened. Instead of getting angrier, both humans and aliens started to relax. They realized they had all been tricked by a few bad people on both sides. "But who made the fake attacking ships?" Junho asked. He had joined the meeting to share what he saw on the Thunderbolt sensors. Everyone looked around the room. Then, a small alien in the corner stood up. He looked very nervous. It was me," he said in a shaky voice. The room went quiet. The alien's name was Pax, and he worked on alien ship systems. "I didn't want war," Pax said quickly. "I thought if there was a big danger, humans and aliens would have to work together. I thought it would bring peace." Admiral Young growled. "You risked starting a war to make peace. That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard." But Sumin was thinking hard. "Wait," she said. "Pax might have done a bad thing, but look what happened. We are working together now. We're talking honestly for the first time." Everyone looked at each other. She was right. This whole mess had forced them to face their fears and be truthful. Captain Jae-sung stood up. "I think we've all learned something today," he said. "Humans or aliens, we're not so different. We all have fears. We all make mistakes. But we can also choose to trust and understand each other." Zin, the Galactic Council leader, nodded slowly. "Perhaps," he said, "this is the real beginning of our friendship." As the meeting went on, plans were made. The traitors on both sides would be punished. But more importantly, humans and aliens would start working together. They would share knowledge, explore space together, and learn from each other. It wouldn't be easy. There was still a lot of fear and doubt to overcome. But as Sumin looked around the room, she saw hope in every face, human and alien alike. The day had started with chaos and nearly ended in war. But now, as the stars shone outside, a new future was beginning. A future where humans and aliens would face the wonders and dangers of the galaxy side by side. As the meeting ended, Taehyun couldn't help but smile. His small act of bravery had helped change everything. He realized that sometimes one person speaking the truth could make a big difference. The adventure was just beginning. A week had passed since the dramatic meeting on the Starlight Palace. The Thunderbolt still floated in space near the alien ships, but now the mood was very different. Instead of fear and suspicion, there was curiosity and excitement. On the bridge of the Thunderbolt, Captain Jae-sung looked out at the stars. He smiled as he saw small shuttles moving back and forth between the human and alien ships. Scientists, engineers, and diplomats from both sides were busy sharing knowledge and ideas. Sumin walked onto the bridge, looking tired but happy. "Captain," she said, "I have big news. The Galactic Council has made a decision." Jae-sung turned to her, his eyes wide. "What is it?" "They want to offer Earth conditional membership in the Galactic Council," Sumin said with a big smile. The whole bridge crew cheered. This was huge news. Humans would no longer be alone in the galaxy. They would be part of a big family of alien races, But Jae-sung looked serious. "Conditional membership," he asked. "What are the conditions?" Soo-min nodded. "That's the tricky part. We need to discuss it." Soon, the main leaders were gathered in the Thunderbolts meeting room. Soo-min explained the council's offer. "They want us to share our faster-than-light technology," she said. "In return, they'll share their advanced medical knowledge and help us set up colonies on new worlds." Tae-hyun, who was now part of these important meetings, spoke up. "That sounds good. So what's the problem?" Jae-sung sighed. "The problem is trust. Can we really trust them with such powerful technology? And can they trust us to use their knowledge wisely?" Everyone was quiet for a moment. They all remembered how close they had come to war just a week ago. Then Rai, the crystal alien, spoke. He had become a good friend to the humans. "Trust must start somewhere," he said. "Perhaps it starts with us, here and now." As they talked, Soo-min thought about everything that had happened. The misunderstandings, the fears, the brave actions that saved the day. She realized that this decision was about more than just humans and aliens. It was about the future of the whole galaxy. "I think we should accept," she said finally. "But we should also suggest something new." Everyone looked at her curiously. "Let's propose a joint mission," Soo-min continued. "Humans and aliens working together to explore unknown parts of the galaxy. We can learn to trust each other by facing new challenges side by side." The room buzzed with excitement. It was a bold idea, but it felt right. Jae-sung nodded slowly. "I like it. It's a big step, but I think we're ready." They put the idea to the Galactic Council. To everyone's surprise, the aliens loved it. Even Admiral Yang, who had been so suspicious of humans, agreed it was a good plan. Over the next few days, agreements were signed, plans were made, and a new era began. The Thunderbolt would lead the joint mission, with a crew of both humans and aliens. They would go where no one had gone before, seeking new worlds and new civilizations. On the day of departure, the Starlight Palace and other alien ships gathered to see them off. The Thunderbolt's crew, now a mix of humans and aliens, stood proudly on the bridge. Captain Jae-sung looked at his diverse crew. There was Soo-min, ready for new diplomatic challenges. Tae-hyun, eager to learn alien sciences. Jun-ho, excited to use new alien sensor technology. And their new friends, Rai, Pax, and even a young alien who looked up to Admiral Yang. "Are we ready?" Jae-sung asked. Everyone nodded. "Then let's make history," the captain said with a smile. "Engage the faster-than-light drive." The Thunderbolt's engines hummed to life. In a flash of light, the ship disappeared into the unknown reaches of the galaxy. But this time, humans weren't alone. They were part of something bigger, something wonderful. As the ship streaked through space, Soo-min looked out at the stars. She thought about how one small meeting between different peoples had changed the course of history. Now, humans and aliens would face the future together, as friends and partners. The adventure had only just begun, and the whole galaxy was waiting to be explored.